Well, hello everybody. You might be asleep, or you might be doing homework, or you might be studying, which is a good thing. My camera looks really shitty right now because it's at night. I'm trying to be quiet because everybody's asleep already. It is currently 9:15, and tomorrow is my birthday. Yay! I turned 31 years old. I'm getting old. But it's 9:15 right now. Everybody at my house is asleep. I'm extremely exhausted. I might rub my eyes a little too much. They're super, they're burning really bad from staring at the computer. But I also just got home not too long ago. Well, like 30 minutes from the gym. So, anyway, I just wanted to make a video because I haven't made one in 2 weeks. Uh, and this one is about working full time and going to school because I started working and I work full time and go to school full time, and I'm just exhausted. Mentally and physically, I'm exhausted. But I'm kind of used to it because that's how I did it when I was getting my associates and all throughout nursing school. I've been working full time, except in last year for a few months. I didn't work. And then when I moved back to Idaho, I wasn't working. And I will tell you, those were the best. Best days because I didn't have to worry about working and going to school. But I've been working full time again, so I've been pretty exhausted. Um, so I'm just gonna talk a little bit about working full time and going to school. And I got a shit ton of homework to do, so this video will probably not be that long. So it's possible to work full time and go to school full time. I'm not gonna say that it's easy because it is most definitely not easy. Especially if you're working 12-hour shifts. By the time you do a 12-hour shift and you come home, you're just so exhausted that you want to relax. And if you're like me, where you have, kids, and not only do I have one, I have three, and then a husband, you got to come home and make dinner and clean and take care of kids on top of having to help them with their homework, and then you have your own homework to do. So most days when I get home, I make dinner, take care of my kids, give them a bath, and then I run to the gym for 2 hours so I could de-stress a little bit. Even no matter how tired I am, I always go to the gym because I feel like we just need something for ourselves where we could just not focus on everything, but just focus on us. So I do go to the gym. I come home, I shower. I haven't showered yet. I just went straight into doing homework when I got back. Well, I got my kids in bed. And then, sorry, I'm getting really hot right now. Ugh, so I gotta take this jacket off. Yeah. But anyway, when I get home, I usually put my kids to bed. And then when I put my kids to bed, I usually go shower and get homework done. But tonight I'm not showering because I feel like every time I shower, my body goes into shutdown mode and I want to go to sleep. So I'm like, I'm just gonna stay up and do homework. And then when I get tired, then I'll go shower. And yeah. But so far, I really do like my job. I really do enjoy working with older people. I tried working with younger people, and I don't think it's my area. And I don't think I have enough patience in that area. I do want to work in labor and delivery, but pediatrics, like the older ages, I just don't know if I want to work in that division. I like older people. So far, I do love my job. I'm actually looking into another job that I really want to do too, but I don't want to leave my current job because I just got it and I actually really love it. So I'm a little conflicted. But I will say, when you work full time and you go to school full time, it becomes draining on the body mentally and physically. In the beginning, you might be able to handle it, but then as you go on, you're definitely not going to be able to handle it as well. I've noticed that in the middle of the semester is when I really start getting into that burnout mode where my body and my mind just, like, mentally, it just becomes so drained. And we had a conference on this last semester where, the teachers were talking about, working full time and going to school full time and what would be preferred or what would be best. And they highly recommend that you actually just do not work when you're going to nursing school, because nursing school takes up so much time, as you could see, like with the workload and the amount of work you're doing. it's so much easier to just focus on school and not have to work. But when you're in a situation where you need that income to support your family, to pay your bills, to pay your rent, it's not a matter of, oh, I'm not going to work. Some people luckily have that, where they have a support system where they don't have to work. But I know for me, we need the money, so I definitely need to work full time. And I just figured I should come on here and just give everybody a little update, because I haven't been on here in 2 weeks, and I've been working full time and doing school full time. So I've literally not had very much time to do anything but that, just work and school. I'm just so exhausted. Really, I'm beyond exhausted. But anyway, there are some people, like I said, my teachers highly recommend not working whilst in school. And I don't know, but they literally made it a point to have a conference about it, because you find quite a bit of nursing students work. But at the end of the day, even if they say you can't work and go to school, I will tell you, you can work and go to school. Because before I got married to my husband, and I was in the associates program for 2 years, and I was already 2 years into my nursing program before I met him. So all throughout my associates, I worked full time. All throughout the first 2 years of nursing school, I worked full time. It was exhausting, and I used to work at the hospital before I moved to Utah. So I was doing the 12-hour shifts, and I was actually working extra shifts as well. I remember one time my boss called me up, and she was like, I'm looking at your timesheet, and you've like literally worked like over 600 hours in overtime. She said, I don't think that's legal. Like you're overworking. And I'm like, I got bills to pay, I got kids to take care of. I don't really count my overtime. I just work if there's extra shifts. So I've even worked extra shifts many times, and I probably will most likely be working extra shifts with this job, because not only do we need the income, but also trying to get out of debt. Like when you have debt collectors calling you all the time, it's so annoying. So it's like, man, we need to pay these people so they could stop calling. But it's not impossible. That's just all I wanted to say. It's really not impossible. You just gotta prioritize. I live my life on a schedule. Like literally, I live my life on a schedule. Everywhere I go, I take my schedule. Like this thing, I have it everywhere I go. Like if you look inside of it, everywhere is dates and times. Like I have the days that I work, the times that I work, the days that I have my VCBCs, the days that I have my clinicals, the days that homework is due, like days where I have to do certain things with my kids, or days where projects is due, like everything. It has to be scheduled out. That's the only thing that keeps me on track and keeps my life together. So if you don't have a planner, I will highly recommend a planner. I also have my to-do list. Like I have a daily to-do list so that I don't forget what I need to do that day, because I will forget. I forget simple things like calling somebody. I always tell people, oh, I'll give you a call tomorrow. And I never remember to call. And some people get upset, but I'm like, if I don't call, you call me and say, hey, you said you'd call, but you didn't call, because simple things I just don't remember, because my life is so chaotic. Having kids and working full time and going to school full time is all of that is just taking care of kids is a full time job. Oh my gosh, it is really a full time job. And I want to sit and do scholarship applications, but not even time I have for that. Like when I have any extra time, I try to study, read, or something school related. I feel like I'm always thinking about school, always doing something related to school. Like my brain just never stops. It never shuts down. And I really want it to shut down sometimes, but it just never freaking shuts down. But I just want to tell you all, and this will probably be the end of my message. There's something else I wanted to talk about, but I probably will make another video tomorrow. Since it's my birthday, I'm gonna try to look cute. I never look cute for my birthday because I always have school. I actually have a clinical tomorrow, so it's like, I always have clinicals on my birthday, but that's okay. But I probably will make that video tomorrow. But I just wanted you all to know, working full time, going to school full time is possible. However, I will recommend what I plan on doing for my last semester of school, maybe the last two. I'm probably gonna work part time instead of full time, because I've heard that the last 2 semesters is really, really intense. And in fact, one of my friends, she texted me and she told me that I don't remember which course she's doing free something, nursing free something, and she texted me and she was like, "Man, this class is no joke." She's like, "It's a killer, and I'm struggling." And I'm like, "Man, I'm really gonna have to consider working part time." So I plan on saving as much as I can in my tax return, along with paying debts with it, so that I don't have to work full time my last 2 semesters. And I know I can save it because when I was getting my MA, I got pregnant with my third child, and I had to save for maternity leave. So my goal was to save 5,000, and I did get to that goal in 9 months. I guess working all those overtime hours, along with some tax return, helped me to get to that goal. But I do plan ahead, so I know September all the way to July, April next year, I will need enough money to get me by, to get my family and I by. So it's like, okay, if I'm planning on working part time, then I really need to budget. And I do budget quite a bit. So I do need to budget enough to where I could actually work part time and not full time. So we'll see. I don't plan on going full time. And if necessary that I have to, I will. But I really don't want to because I have my schedule up until I graduate. And the last 2 semesters, I have actually way more classes than I do right now, which is stupid. Who plans that? Like, I mean, seriously, idiots. Idiots. That's what every time I look at my schedule, I just think, oh my gosh, like, seriously. You put a whole bunch of classes in the last 2 semesters, and the ones that we're doing right now, it's like not as heavy as a workload. And I'm like, seriously, who even looks at the schedule and be like, oh, I'll give her like 5 classes in that semester and 5 classes her last semester. But for the semesters before then, I'm just gonna give her a little bit of classes. And I'm just like, man, they don't understand. Like, I've done it before and I know I can do it because I've worked full time and done 5 classes. But let me tell y'all, it is a struggle trying to keep up with due dates for assignments and to do all to just the workload is just too much when you have 5 classes. It's ridiculous. It's just too intense. And they don't understand that. Like I had to drop a class one time, like, look, man, this is too much. Like you're giving me anatomy and you're giving me this one, like ugh, it's too much. But I don't know. That's why I'm planning on working part time because looking at my schedule, it's like there's no way with the classes being so intense and working full time. I don't think I could survive it. But it is possible, people. Take it from me, mom with kids, and I don't really have a support system like that to be like, hey, you know, and my husband works just as much as I work. So so that tells you our situation there. We don't have that support system where I could be like, hey, could you take the kids so I could go study? And most times by the time he gets home, he's exhausted too. So it's hard. But he can be more exhausted than me. I feel like women do more than the men do, honestly. And I think I don't know how I keep going, but somehow I do keep going. And you keep going too. Just when you're tired, if you need 10 minutes, you take 10 minutes. If you even want to watch a show just to relax before you even get into homework, you do that. Sometimes I find myself just putting on the TV and having it going whilst I'm doing homework to help me stay awake at nights. Most times I don't go to bed until early hours of the morning. I've gone to bed at 3 in the morning. There are times I've gone to bed at 4 a.m. and then woke up at 8 a.m. and went to the gym at 9 a.m. Came back home and did homework. I mean, I do take care of my kids in between there. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying what I do personally. So I it just depends. I could go to bed at any time. I go to bed at all hours. It really depends. Like sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm like, man, I'm going off of 2 hours of sleep. I'm so exhausted. I worked a night job. I worked in the hospital. I worked night and I had clinicals the next day. And I told my boss that, please don't schedule my night shifts for the next day when I have clinicals. And she did it one time. And I was so pissed off at her for doing that. But then I worked all night at the hospital. I got off at 7 a.m. and I had to be at my clinicals for 8 a.m. No, I got off at 6 a.m. I had to be at my clinicals for 8 a.m. And my clinicals is a 45-minute drive. So as soon as I got off my night shift, I had to get in my car and rush, literally rush to my clinicals. Because if you're past 5 minutes late, they kick you out and you have to pay $200. I've been kicked out of class twice. One because they said I didn't renew my flu shot, so they didn't let me go to class for that. And the other one was another shot, so I got kicked out of class for that too. And $200 is a lot of money when you're broke. But anyway, I didn't get any sleep. I literally worked all night, got up at 6 a.m., hurried to my clinicals, got there, changed into my scrubs, and I had to stay. Usually clinicals is like about 8 to 1, depends. I had to stay that long, and then when I got done with clinicals, I had to drive that 45 minutes back to town. So I was beyond exhausted. I could barely keep my eyes open. It's really hard when you're doing a 45-minute drive on no sleep because you keep dozing off. And that was the problem that I had. It's like my eyes was burning so bad trying to stay awake. And my body is so used to all these energy drinks that they do nothing for me. So I just kept like I literally would like I hate long distance drives because I could never stay awake. So I'm telling you, sometimes you really just have to push through, regardless of how tired you are, how mentally exhausted you are, how physically you're exhausted. You just have to push through. Because when I did that shift and I had to go straight to work, I just thought I would die from not getting any sleep. And my body doesn't shut down during the day to where I could take a nap. So I didn't take a nap before I went to work. So I had been up all day because I couldn't sleep, then going to work and being up all night, and then having to drive to my clinicals and try to be awake for my clinicals and drive back to town. By the time I got back to town, my body was done, like just done. And I actually had to work that night too because my shifts were scheduled back to back. So I had to work that night. So I just came home, I went to sleep, I had to wake up to get my post work done because I didn't want to get a zero for not completing it to go back to work that night. So that week, I was just tired and drained, like really drained, but I got through. So just remember when you feel like giving up, you shouldn't give up. Just keep going. It's all worth it in the end. That's what I keep telling myself. On the days that I want to give up, I tell myself, just remember your end goal. A better life for you, a better life for your kids, and to make a difference in this world because Lord knows somebody ought to make a difference in this world. So just keep going, y'all. Davis, Ty Davis, you're awesome. Thanks for watching. But anyway, just know that it is possible to work full time and go to school full time. It's not easy, and I'm not gonna say it's easy because it is hella difficult. And I struggle. Like right now, my eyes are on fire. But I have assignments due tonight, so I gotta get them done. And it is what it is. I have to work this week as well. So, and I'm also going for a custody battle, y'all, with my two of my kids' dad. So, oh, it's been a process there too. Like that literally has taken so much out of me mentally. I never thought something would drain me the way it did. And it's just crazy to think the things people will do and say because they're jealous. And I'm like, this is such a stupid battle. But I've had to hire a lawyer and pay the attorney fees. I mean, it is so expensive getting a lawyer. Who the hell knew it wowould be that expensive to get a lawyer? So I've been dealing with that too. That's why I haven't been on here. Like mentally, it's taken a lot out of me. Like for 2 days straight, I just couldn't even get myself to focus on my schoolwork. Because when you get a letter from another lawyer saying what the other person, stating all the other person claims, it's like what the. It's like seriously, are you serious? That mother trucker. I don't swear, y'all. I do swear, but I try to not swear. But I was really pissed off at that getting that letter from that lawyer. It was ridiculous. So I've been dealing with that too. Well, I should say my husband and I, because according to him, we're a team. So we've been dealing with that. So I actually have a meeting with my lawyer tomorrow about it. So I think I'm gonna try to get as much homework done because sometimes I go in there and I think I'm gonna be done in a certain amount of time, but that is never the case. Especially when the other person just keeps rejecting. every plan that you've come up with, and especially when your kid does not want to spend that time with him that he's requesting. It's like, oh my gosh, you're an idiot. You're just driving me crazy. Anyway, I gotta get my homework done. If I stare at this computer anymore, I'm just I'm gonna pull my eyes out. They burn that bad. Oh, thank you. We hope so too. But Heavenly Father is good. He's been awesome. Prayers are amazing. I'm not as stressed out about it as I was in the beginning. It was just really surprising how it all happened. And it just all started because my daughter decided she didn't want to spend Christmas with him because he's been in and out of her life and she never spent any Christmas with him. So she wanted to stay home. So I guess me being married and she choosing to not spend time with him set off a bomb of some sort. So here we are doing the whole custody thing. So it's really draining. So for those of y'all who have kids in a marriage, props to you because you'll never have to deal with that unless if you get a divorce. But it's been really exhausting, you guys. So exhausting. And I'm really nervous about meeting my attorney tomorrow because you just never know. It's like sometimes you get the news you want to hear, and sometimes it's like, oh man, I gotta pay you more money. And he always says, lawyers are not cheap. Oh, hell, no, they ain't cheap. When you gotta pull out all that money from your butt just for them to even do the paperwork. So we'll see. Anyway, good luck to you all. Stay focused and stay positive. That's the most important thing. Stay positive. And if you need a break, just take a gosh damn break. Like literally, just take a break. Go take a bath. I like to take baths. That is my me time too. If I just can't focus on my homework or anything else, I go take a bath. A nice long bath until I'm all crinkly, pretty much. It's true. I could stay in there forever. But anyway, you all have a good night and wishing you all the best for all your semester. I will probably will come on here again soon, maybe tomorrow, maybe later on this week. Um, I'll give you guys an update about school. So far, I'm doing really well. I looked at my grades today because grades will enter today. So far, I have a 96. We'll see how long that lasts. I'm hoping that at the end of the semester, I have a 98. I'm trying to keep my grades up regardless. And I think that's why I stay up so late doing homework and studying to make sure that I have that good grade. But we'll see. Anyway, y'all have a good night. Thanks for watching. I'll keep you all in my prayers. Best of luck with nursing school. Stay strong. If you have any questions, you could always reach out. Thanks for watching, you guys.